I'm Devin Jackson, and welcome to the first ever broadcast of LBTV News, here from the campus of Lindenwood Belleville University.
And I'm Kiaris Henry. Each week we will be reporting here from LBTV News to give you the latest updates and events happening on campus and around the Belleville area. Let's take a look at our first story, put together by our very own Richard Burgess, who talked with Amy Gangloff about Mary Sibley and Lindenwood Sibley Day.
She was born in 1800. She dies in 1878. Lindenwood is founded in 1829 as a family farm and becomes a school around 1830, 1831. It's largely a school that's created from her passion and her driving force and her position as a woman in the second quarter of the 19th century. The time period, she was a relatively wealthy woman. Her father was a government representative on the frontier. When she's 15, she gets married to George Sibley, who's 33 at the time. They move back to her family, who is living in St. Charles. And her husband, George Sibley, buys a farm in 1829 that they named Lindenwood, two separate words. So the two of them together decided to open a girls' school near the end of 1830, beginning of 1831. The school kind of sputtered for about 20 years. And I think around the 1850s, the state of Missouri begins to come in and starts to take over the school. She thinks she's going to go to Japan and be a missionary, and traveling from St. Louis to Los Angeles in 1878 is still a long, arduous journey. And she's like 77, 78 years old at this time, and she's making this trip. She dies halfway there. She never makes it to Los Angeles, and eventually that's what she's doing when she dies. So in many ways, she was slightly off kilter, but it was almost like the records that we have to describe her were that she was a force to be reckoned with. So I imagine if she was walking around campus, she would be yelling at people to pick things up. She would be yelling at people to dress better. She would be yelling at the men to get away from the women. She would be, basically, I just envision her as a firebrand who would be walking through the halls yelling at everybody. She is definitely a kind of weird, interesting woman, which makes it kind of cool that we go here.
Remember that Sibley Day is not just a day to get off from school. Keep an eye out for Sibley Day events. Thank you, Richard, for that look into Sibley Day history. Also this week, we have the theater department here at Lindenwood putting on a production of a play this weekend. Here's Jill with a sneak peek.
The theater department has struck again and is putting on a comedy musical called The Drowsy Chaperone. The play is directed by Nick Maramarco. Mr. Maramarco, what can you tell us about the play the theater department is putting on? And why did you choose to run that play?
It's about a guy who loves musicals a whole lot and wants to share his love of musicals with the audience. I saw this play for the first time in 2007 when a touring company came through, and it was just the funniest show I had ever seen. I love the style of comedy that they use in the play. I think the music's a lot of fun. There's some dancing challenges that are new to our students because we really haven't had to deal with dance in our shows before. So there's a lot of exciting opportunities for students, as well as I just really love the play.
The show will be held on Friday, February 12th and Saturday, February 13th at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday, February 14th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $10 regular admission, $5 for senior citizens and students, and the play is free for all Lindenwood University students and staff. Come out and support the theater department this weekend.
You are welcome!
Tune in next week for a behind-the-scenes look at Drowsy Chaperone. Every week we will highlight a group on campus to give you more information about what they do and how you can get involved. This week we're highlighting hyperlinks, led by Professor Dadian Smith. Our reporter Casey attended one of their meetings to find out more about hyperlinks.
So hyperlinks is anything that has to do with pretty much technology.
My favorite part about hyperlinks is, being around a bunch of other creative minds, being able to work together on projects, being able to even have the access to all of this great technology. 3D printing, something we've been exploring, along with drawing on like Wacom tablets. Those are $800 a piece. We don't, as college students, have money to buy that kind of stuff.
And we've done piano stairs. We've made a 3D printer that's working pretty well. Sometimes we have issues with it. We've also done a haunted hallway, which we kind of just created on our own, and we had a little bit of technical stuff in it. Sibley Day on the 16th, we're going to get our 3D printer out. We have some new equipment that we just got today that we're going to try and incorporate.
I just think it's kind of cool to get to explore a bunch of the new technology that's coming out and really get to work like together in groups with some of my peers.
Like our major is interactive media and web design, most of us, and so we just, anything that's like new and upcoming, we like trying to figure it out or make our own.
Some people will bring in their, their knowledge and teach other people how to, learn some computer programs to like edit videos. Some people don't know how to do that, and we'll help each other. So pretty much anything that the comm department touches on.
Any student can join, though. Anybody that's interested in anything that we do is welcome to come and like join us, do anything. For February, we're going to meet on Tuesdays at 2:30, and then after February, the rest of the year is going to be on Thursdays at 2:30.
Devin, I have a question for you. Where do you get your hair cut?
Well, obviously, as you can see, I don't get a haircut often enough.
Well, I have a great spot for you located right here in Belleville. When we come back from break, we'll have a report from my very own Justin Turno about a barber you should know right here in Belleville. Stay tuned.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
As many of you know, when this school was built here over 10 years ago, not everyone nearby the school was a fan of it. However, one resident who happens to own a barbershop near campus is a big fan of Lindenwood and our students. Here's Justin with more on the story.
Well, I started barber college over at Moeller in St. Louis in 1958. And I got out in 59, and I got a job up in East Alton. And I was up there for a year and a half. And I came down to Belleville, and I worked downtown at Dandy for from December of 60 till 67, June 1st of 67 when I opened up here. And I've been here ever since.
I then asked Bob about his customers, more specifically the students of Lindenwood, and how they may have impacted the city of Belleville along with his business.
I love it. My customers are, well, they're not just customers, they're my second family. You know, to me, they're just good people. And with the college here, it's a better atmosphere around the neighborhood. We have better quality people. And they're really, I enjoy that. When they go by and they wave at me like that, that makes me feel good that I'm welcome and I liked. You know, but the students, I don't call them kids, I call them young adults, because they're good to me and I try to be good to them. And I know next door they had trouble with their washer and dryer. So I let them come over and use my washer and dryer. I have no trouble with them. But like I said before, it really makes me feel good when they walk by and wave. And, you know, they're an asset to the neighborhood. And, oh, sure, I pick up their trash once in a while, but that doesn't hurt me. I can bend over yet.
For a great haircut, head on over to Bob's, which is located across from the Lynx Lodge.
For years now, we have had international students come to America from all over the world to further their education here at Lindenwood and Belleville, including our very own reporter, Christian, who's from Australia. Christian caught up with some international students on campus to talk about their experience, not only here in America, but here at Lindenwood.
I've been here since August 2014, and I'm a senior because I transferred from my country.
So I came here on January 2014 as my freshman year. I came straight from high school.
When I was in the university back in my home country, things were more kind of relaxed. I didn't have to study that much actually. I could pass classes with a little more ease.
I think the methods that they use is really different, especially math. And everything here is punctual. You have deadlines for everything. In Brazil, it's more easygoing. You can turn in things late and this kind of stuff.
Here is it doesn't matter where you're from, everyone is the same, and you can be friends with anyone. You find really good friends here, and it's kind of different in our countries because we have a lot of prejudice.
The one thing that I see, the differences, in Brazil we don't have difference of race or ethnics. We are all the same, and here there's the division of two groups, the white American and the African Americans, which is interesting because there are lots of differences in the culture, the kind of music they listen, the kind of clothes they wear, and we basically don't have this in Brazil. It's all the same.
It's really easy to be part and fit in the campus, so that's really helpful, and then the friends that you made here, that makes you feel like home.
Yeah, I think from the part that this school has lots of internationals, we kind of feel fulfill each other while we miss mom, dad, brothers. So we get together into groups, usually between nationalities, but sometimes we mix it, in our group, the international organization.
Thanks, Christian, for that great story. Campus safety is always important. Here at Lindenwood, safety is a high priority. LBTV's Bailey caught up with Lindenwood's head of security to talk about the safety measures in place while walking around campus.
Blue light emergency stations are stations we have throughout the campus that allow a student that needs police in an emergency or EMS in an emergency to hit this tower instead of using their cell phone. The tower goes directly to the Belleville Police Department, to the 911 operator there, and that way whatever is needed, EMS, fire, or police, will then head to their location. Each tower has a number on it. We've worked with the Belleville Police Department. They'll ask the caller what pole number you're at. They have a map, and they'll know where to. Currently, we have 9 of them throughout the campus, the dorms, parking lots, and in a couple other places around the campus. It depends. If it's just an accidental thing where they're not sure if it's an emergency or not, the Belleville Police will redirect them to contact public safety here on campus, or the Belleville Police themselves will contact. If they present a joke and it's kind of maliciously, in that instance, they could be charged with disorderly conduct because, basically they're wasting the EMS services and time and the 911 operator's time. If you would like an escort to your car or an escort to your campus housing, we would be glad to do it. There's 2 cell phones that the on-duty security officer carries, or the police officer would carry with him. They are 618-978-9797 or 618-978-7253. Either phone the on-duty officer will have with him, and he or she will respond and provide an escort. They'll escort you to your car from class. If you're working late or something, they'll escort you to home or wherever you need to go. The numbers are stationed throughout campus on metal signs, and they'll also tell you exactly what post you're at. And it'll say in case of escort or security, you can contact these numbers, and they're posted throughout the area. Yes, it should be answered 24 hours a day. One of those 2 numbers should be answered 24 hours a day.
Thanks, Bailey, for that report on campus security. Up next, we have our sports report. Stick around after this break.
Now let's recap the week in Lynx athletics, starting with the men's volleyball team. They took down Greenville College in 5 sets at home last Tuesday night. After falling behind 2-1, the Lynx stormed back in the 4th set to win a tightly contested set, then went on to the 5th set to win the 5th set convincingly, 15-13. The Lynx picked up their first win of the season. Come out and support them tonight as they play at 7 p.m. at our very own Lynx Arena. Now switching gears to basketball. Both the men's and women's basketball teams were in action this past Thursday and Saturday. Both teams faced off against Columbia College at Lynx Arena Thursday night. The women's team fell to the number 6 Lady Cougars 97-67. However, the men's team pulled off a huge upset, being the number 2 ranked Cougars 69-68 in the thriller. Both teams traveled to St. Louis this past Saturday to take on Harris-Stowe State. Both teams fell to the Hornets by 11. Their next game will be on the road at Hannibal LaGrange this Saturday. The women's game will start at 2 p.m. and the men's game will follow at 4 p.m. The men's hockey team was also in action this past weekend. They took on Eastern Kentucky in back-to-back games this past Friday and Saturday. They won both games. 13-1 and 15-0 were the final scores of those games. The men's hockey team moved to 25-4 on the season.
Staying on topic of sports, the men's soccer team was honored at halftime at the men's basketball game against the Columbia College for the fantastic NAIA Final Four and the AMC Conference Tournament win. Our reporter Akeisha caught up with Coach Dan Hogan to talk about season successes.
The hurdle was trying to be successful when things were not going our way.
Overcoming internal and external issues, the Lindenwood University Belleville Lynx men's soccer team has completed another victorious season. The Lynx finished this season with 17 wins and 8 losses and 6 wins and 4 losses in the conference, which led them to the national tournament.
I'm really proud of what we did this year. Halfway through the season, we were 7-6, and we were 6th in the conference, and we weren't sure which way we were going to go. We got together, changed some things, and ended up 4th in the conference and ended up in the Final Four at the national tournament. So a lot of credit to the guys for turning things around.
For many reasons, head coach Dan Hogan and his team were not sure how their season would turn out, but that did not stop them.
The beginning was very hard because we started losing some games and everybody thought we wouldn't make it, but we worked hard and we kept practicing and believing.
With faith, courage, and adjustments, the Lynx continued to work hard and did not let injuries or anything else hold them back from success. What is your best single memory about this past season?
I think it was probably the whole week in Florida because we were down there. It was the national tournament, and you could see the guys really soaking in the atmosphere and hoping to compete for a national championship.
This season brought many ups and downs and great memories. Along with celebration and only 7 days of preseason, the Lynx are already in preparation for the next season.
Thanks, Akeisha, for that report. We look forward to the upcoming season. In other news, here are some upcoming campus events that will be going on around campus. Yoga every Thursday at 7 p.m., Saturday at 11 a.m., and Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the 3rd floor in the auditorium building. Enactus meeting every Thursday at 12:15 in L building in room 206. BSU meeting every Monday night at 7 p.m. in the banquet hall. Bible study every Wednesday in the banquet hall at 8 p.m. LSGA assembly meeting at 5:30 in the banquet hall on February 16th. They meet once a week to hear what you, the students, have to say about your Lindenwood experience.
Remember, this month is Black History Month. CAB is hosting a Black History Trivia Night in the Dixon Center at 7:30 p.m. February 11th. February 18th, there will be a soul food dinner in the Dixon Center Banquet Hall at 9 p.m. Door decoration contest winner announcement time is at 12 p.m. February 19th, BSU will be holding a poetry slam, Voices Matter, in the auditorium at 7:30 p.m. on February 24th. And that will wrap it up for LBTV News.
We'll be here next week on LBTV News. Have a great day.